going on, LaShonda?
You already know what it is. You already know what it is when I put this hoodie on. Ring that motherfucking bell, baby!
That's great. Woo! What'd you do? Tell us the story. We got to know the story.
I'm gonna make it real quick. So, two of them are land deals that I got. One is same thing, SMS, no conversation on the phone or anything like that. It was all straight through text, right? One was 2,500 and one was $8,000, so that's what 10,500. Then I did a lease option over the weekend, right?
Get out of here!
I didn't acquire. I sold on a lease option.
Oh,
I have
okay.
I have a property that I took over subject to like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I did a lease option on it before. So the guy that originally was supposed to cash me out, he didn't cash me out. Matter of fact, I brought this to the club, about a few weeks ago? Okay, remember I was telling you, I said I didn't know if I wanted to sell it or if I wanted to do another lease option?
Yeah.
So what I did was, after he moved out, he gave me five to move in under a lease option for 24 months. He was supposed to have been purchasing the property for $70,000, right? 24 months later, he did not purchase the property. He moved out. Okay. So I went over there and I cleaned the property up a little bit. I put like $15,000 into it. The first time when I had it, I didn't do anything to it. I just sold it as is. The second time, after he moved out, I went in and I put in like 15 grand, right? So I knew if I decided to do a lease option, I knew I wanted to try to at least get my 15,000 back. So I went in, rehabbed it, 15K put in, and then I decided to do a lease option on it again. So I did a lease option. I put it on Zillow. 2.5 weeks. I found 2 buyers, right? That both had 15,000 down.
Yeah.
So, right. So what I did was, it was a couple that I ended up doing a lease option with. So what I did was I listened to what they said that they wanted, because they had 15,000 to put down, but they kept saying if they can get away with only putting like 10 down, they would put the 10 down and keep 5 to buy furniture and stuff like that. Well, in my mind, I'm like, I need the whole 15 because I need to get my money back. So
right.
I'm just talking to them and I'm like, okay, well, how much do you have to put down? They said 15, but if we can get away with putting 10, we'll put 10. I said, okay. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, they got 15. So then one of the things that the wife was talking about was the rent. Because I have the house listed for $145,900, right? And the rent is $950 a month. That's what I put it out there for. But I never put out there, how much you needed to put down. I don't ever throw those numbers out there.
Right.
So when they told me they had 15, I'm like, okay. So she's saying, well, we really would like for the rent to be like $850, maybe even $600 or $700 if we can. I said, well, I'm gonna tell you right now, $600 or $700 ain't working. You ain't gonna find nothing. You're not gonna find a totally renovated 2-bedroom house for $600 or $700 in today's time. So
right,
those numbers are out the door. But I always pretend I am the property manager. I never say that I'm the owner. So I'm the property manager. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk to the owner and I'm gonna see if maybe the owner will tweak them numbers. But I don't know, because I don't make the final decision. This is how I always,
That's great.
So they said, okay, well, we would like to get it down to like $850, or lower if we can. And we want to try to keep our 15 and just only put 10 and keep 5. I said, okay. So what I did was after I got done listening to everything that they wanted and didn't want and all this and that, because the property doesn't have AC, right? And I knew that was probably going to come up because it's hot as hell. So, and when I priced it high enough to where I had some wiggle room, because really I came up with an ARV of about 130, right? So I knew that in my mind, if I got 130, I'm good. So anyway, make a long story short, when I went home, I came up with 3 options for the buyer. So keep in mind that I got the property out there for 145.9. Okay, so what I did was I gave them 3 options, and I got them written down so I could remember. So option number 1, the purchase price. If you put down $15,000, the purchase price would drop from 145.9 to 135.9, right? And your mortgage would be $850 a month for 24 months. That's option 1. Option 2 is if you put $12,000 down, the purchase price of the property would be 142.9, right? And the mortgage would be $950 a month for 18 months. That was option 2. Then option 3 was, because remember they said that they wanted to put the 10 down, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna make this real ugly if they put 10 down. So I said, well, if they put 10,000 down, the purchase price is going to be the 145.9, which was the actual purchase price, right? And then the payment was going to be $1,050 for 12 months. So they had 3 options to choose, and they chose option 1, of course, which was the 135.9, putting 15 down at $850 a month for 24 months.
That's awesome. That's super good. That's super smart.
Yeah, I mean, I've learned that it seems like in a situation like this, when you have a property and you're trying to sell it, when you give them options, I guess it just make them feel, I don't know, feel some type of way, feel good about options or something. So that's what I did. And they chose option 1.
Yeah.
We closed on it last Wednesday.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good idea. Good technique. That's great.
Right. Thanks.
So they put down the whole 15.
They put down the whole 15.
They didn't sweat it or nothing. They was just like, here's our card. Or how'd you get the money?
Okay, so I always do mine with an attorney because I don't.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So they had to give me $15,000 for the option consideration. Then they had to give me $1,700 for first month's rent and last month's rent. I don't do deposits. So first month's rent, last month's rent, and then they had to pay the closing costs to the attorney, which was $300. So altogether it was like $17,500. Nice. And so they gave me a cashier's check.
Nice.
And we met up with the attorney. And the only thing she just does is just sit there and just really verify. She doesn't, I mean, I have all the paperwork and everything and they sign. She just verifies it pretty much.
Right.
And make sure that they understand, because I tell her in advance, make sure they understand that they do not get their money. They do not get their lease option back. So I want them to make sure that, I want you to make sure that they understand that. So that way later on down the line, they won't get amnesia and get to acting all like they don't remember. You know, so
right.
She asked him, "Are you understand what's going on? You understand the terms?" And that was it.
That's good.
So this is my second lease option on this one property.
Yeah. Woo! That's worth ringing the bell for again, right there.
Bell, baby. That was it.
That's
all I had.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
LaShonda.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up.